Well, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. I want to thank. Everyone said this already, but I want to go ahead and say thank you everyone for being here. All the professionals, my peers. Thanks for the ones that stuck around and haven't left yet, as well as the ones that are the juniors that are going to have till next year. So this is what's going to be like. It'll be fine. I mean, as long, something I want to point out. It's just our team, the next team, and after that we are done. So let's get this done, and hopefully you guys don't have crazy questions. So Polk Street, 100% design. We're Pondera Engineering. Daniel, we have Solomon, I'm Jose, and this is Jeff. So the basic design, I know we've gone over this, but let me just go ahead and tell you the concepts and criteria. Design a friendly pedestrian street with bike as well, bike path, and we want to maintain a decent level of service, but it's Houston, it's not likely to happen. But we're going to try. As engineers, we want to go ahead and design for the best. Also sustainable design, meaning we want to accommodate future improvements. We know this area, we expect it to have a mixed-use area where residential apartments and such. So with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead and give it to Solomon.
Okay, for the existing conditions, the conditions at Polk Street right now, they're like not at its best. For example, the pavement is in really bad conditions. The pavement markings are fading away. Also, the sidewalks are broken. As you see on the previous presentations, they're all broken. Also, they're discontinuous. Some sides of the sidewalks are like it's concrete, and then it's just like a gravel. Also, the bike lines is they have poorly signalization, not enough signals. There's a substandard crosswalk conditions, and the street lights are in poor conditions as well. This is the next one. Okay. So in order for us to make this a more friendly pedestrian environment, also as a bike environment, we decide to improve the lighting and the signal lights. But the traffic signals are not included on these plans, as the city provide area-wide signalization upgrades. So on Polk Street and Bastrop, we want to do this raise the table stop, pedestrian walks the path, so that way the traffic is going to help the traffic to slow down as the pedestrian cross, and also it's going to help out for the bike path merge. Also, we need to add some protected bike lanes. In order that it's going to be like a 1 foot wide, and they're going to be like these armadillo dividers, like you're going to see in these pictures right here. These ones are the ones that we want to do. So for our project, we're going to continue the bike lane that goes from on the north side of Polk Street from east to west. We're going to start from San Emmanuel, and this is going to go from San Emmanuel Street to Bastrop, where it's going to be 10 feet wide with a 1 feet separation. From that, we're going to use the raised tabletop that I showed on the previous slides. It's going to help us to help the user as the bike cross the street and go to the other side of the road on the south side of Polk Street, where it's going to be one lane bike path with 5 feet wide. It's going to continue as well from Bastrop to Emancipation on the north side as well. Yes, next.
Okay, as Solomon was saying, the top section is from St. Emmanuel to Bastrop Street, where you have the continuation of the bike path from the central downtown district out to Edo, where it meets up, and it's the 10-foot wide bike path bi-directional. We have 8-foot sidewalks installed, and we have a 12-foot lanes, and this is the median on here is 16 feet, but it actually varies depending on which part of the road you're at. After Bastrop, the bike lane then splits, and you have one bike lane each direction going through. We continue with the 12-foot lanes, and then the median and the 8-foot sidewalks.
So for the existing utilities, we have for public, the water lines. There are water lines on Polk Street and as well as the intersections. There's also 2 large transmission lines. Currently they're not there, but we're taking into consideration that they're existing because when we start construction it should be there. So that's why we're using them as existing. 2 large transmission lines, a 60 and 72-inch water lines. And for the wastewater, we have an 8-inch on the southwest of the right-of-way. That one's gonna go away, I'll explain in the next slide. There's also sanitary sewer connections on each intersection. Now for the private utilities, we have CenterPoint that has their area on underground power lines. We have existing pipeline markers that are there as well, that are called out by CenterPoint, and AT&T for the telecom lines. And we also have core lighting, the street light, which utilizes cobra luminaries that are basically wood poles. Okay. So for our proposed utilities, the 2 large diameter transmission lines will remain, so nothing's going to happen with that. We also will accommodate for future improvements, so we're installing an 8-inch water line on Polk Street to accommodate all the properties along Polk Street. For wastewater, we're upgrading the sanitary pipeline to a 12-inch. So what's going on here is basically we have this 12-inch on the north side of Polk Street. From the east, it's going this way. From the east, and then the other way, west and then east. And it's going to tie into the one on Bastrop, and it's going to go down basically. That's where our sanitary sewer is going to connect. So a 12-inch line going into a 36-inch and going down south. The relocation of gas and electric, well, that's going to be done when we submit our design to CenterPoint. They're going to have to work around us, right? Because we're the designers. And the street lighting will be upgraded to the City of Houston IDM. We were able to have our 8-foot sidewalk throughout the whole street. And we still have green space on both sides.
Alright. For the existing drainage on Polk Street, I believe it was probably from the 30s. I believe Truman would put it perfectly. He'd worked for however long and has never seen a brick sewer system before. So having to dig out and replace the 24-inch clay and brick sewer system along with the other 12-inch RCPs and upgrade that to the current IDM standards. We also updated all the current B inlets to C1 inlets in order to accommodate for the ponding that is existing on the current street. For the detention, the goal was because this is going to be an intermediary construction before the highway project comes in and the new construction on Emancipation. The goal was to maintain the drainage system on this street until the new systems that will continue the outfall to the overall outfall for the watershed is put in place once TxDOT comes in and once the rest of the area is developed. Our solution to this was a 5x3 box culvert between Hutchins and where we ended up connecting to the existing 42-inch brick current storm system. We utilized a junction box in order to go through that system. We also had a 3x3 box culvert from St. Emmanuel to Hutchins, and we split up the other side of the drainage system that was outfalling to the existing system on Emancipation, and that detention was taken care of by a 48-inch RCP system.
5 minutes.
Onto the bridge. The struggle here was trying to find a proper place for the bridge ramps on each side. The best solution we came up with was a empty lot on the corner of St. Emmanuel and Polk Street. I believe it was the southwest side corner, and we took that from Otherwise, so that was this corner going across to George R. Brown, where there was an empty lot under what is currently a off-ramp, but that will no longer be there in the future highway project. We decided to go with a truss design and ended up matching the height of the truss in order to match the TxDOT requirement for the wire mesh fencing. That way you can attach it to the truss and hopefully kind of hide it a little more so it's not an eyesore going across the highway. All of the bridge design was designed to TxDOT, AASHTO, and IDM standards. You can see the two different sections for our ramp going up. It was just we achieved a 13-foot wide in order to match the bike lanes and pedestrian shared path requirements. Up top, you got the 12-foot height for the minimum required mesh fencing for TxDOT. And that's back on.
So during drilling for soil samples, there was a this is Emancipation, and between Emancipation and that's about halfway to Bastrop, there was a presence of hydrocarbons detected, and the city of Houston has deemed it as a potentially petroleum contaminated area. Our idea, or what we're going to do, is to remove the soil to a depth of 2 feet, and that will be in guidelines from the city of Houston and what is it, EPA? Yes, EPA, and that's it.
Go for it, Kyle.
Your first slide showed the limits of your project. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, so what were the limits of your project?
Well, I guess technically to the other side of it, or St. Emmanuel to Emancipation, but if you include the bridge, all of Polk to what's the road next to George R. Brown?
Across to George R. Brown.
Hamilton, yes.
So, in that map, on the west side, you would see there's a block from Chartres to St. Emmanuel.
Yes.
That's not highlighted red. Are you intending to reconstruct that section of Polk?
I believe
It's
that
right
is
here?
Yeah.
that is showing the limit of the new pavement that we are constructing on Polk. From St. Emmanuel to Chartres, we are only replacing, or we're only adding in the box culvert, and then we will repave, what is it called? Resurface Chartres, because that will eventually be demoed and taken out for the new highway.
So you're going to resurface it. Was that a different cross section?
Yes, that is in our plan set.
Alright.
Next question.
I have a question. The roof in front of you have 48 inches high, 14 line detention, but you have 3 by 5 off. What does determine the 3 by 5 off the roof?
That was determined by a hydrology report that we received from EHRA. And we modified that to the existing, or the other utility requirements we had, and had to kind of reroute and add a few more manholes in order to dodge some different conflicts.
I know you mentioned some environmental concerns with PPCA and handling of soil. Were you able to identify if there were any issues with groundwater?
I don't. I think for the purposes of this project, no. Because in all actuality, the depth of the contamination wasn't until 26 feet. And so what we did in order for the project was to just say, for price sake, remove the first 2 feet of soil instead of actually going down and digging everything out. So in reality,
The concern is gonna be when you're installing those deep storm sewers, you're gonna be digging deep, and you're gonna encounter groundwater and contaminated soil. So that's where the concern is gonna be.
I think soil, the water depth is 15 or so, 15 or 12.
I'm trying to remember if the 72 or something goes through there.
Yes, 72, it does go through there.
We'll have to readdress that and get to it further. Thank you.
Did y'all do a plan set meeting, did y'all do a demo and DCP as well?
Yes, it's all included in our 100% actual.
We did not get to the TCP, but we did include a demo plan. We were limited by time constraints and
Okay,
things
that's
like that.
One more thing, just in generalities, I'd just like to hear your thoughts on this because it's becoming more and more a topic of discussion in most circles around the city. What did y'all do or discuss or think about as far as implementation for ADA compliance and accessibility on this project?
For ADA compliance, we use the standard City of Houston wheelchair ramp details for the sidewalk access, and for the ramp, we met the minimum requirements for the slope, and if you go back to the section, it's in the plan set, it shows a blown up section of this where you'll see the intermediary platforms for the 30-foot landings that are required by ADA standards. And our goal, the best solution I came up with when I was drawing the plan was just to kind of zigzag it up. May not be the best solution, but it's what I came up with for the space that I had for that lot available.
You mentioned sustainable design. What things did you implement that were sustainable?
What we did was upgrade the systems, water lines, upgrade the sanitary as well, upgrade the storm sewer for future improvements. We're expecting future improvements in that area. So that's what we meant by sustainable design, a design that's going to last a long time, basically.
So you can plan it for the future.
Yes, of course.
I noticed you guys mentioned the tabletop idea, which is a good idea, but getting it past through the city would be challenging. Just a comment there.
Fast track process.
Well, Sugarland has it, but it's not Sugarland. But I mean,
Well,
it looks cool.
The actual picture is from Hidalgo, near Rice, I believe. I think it's right across from the school. I think it's like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Took inspiration from other sources in the city. But we'll work with the city as we go through that process.
And then in neighborhoods that you could get, but if it's a neighborhood where it's going to be challenging